Well, didn't see that coming. Things happen when we're not expecting them to happen, when we didn't think they would happen, or we didn't believe they could ever happen, and then they happen. Before we start, thank you for being here. I'm really happy you decided to take this course. This isn't just any course. It's a unique chance to explore the world of tarot and time and unlock the secrets of time awareness. This class is for you if you read for yourself or others. The lessons are transcribed, so note-taking is unnecessary. What is necessary is that we set our intention. This is something I do before each reading and ask my clients to do as well. To have a greater impact, the worksheets have a section where you can write your intention down. I intend to share all I know about answering questions about timing with tarot. My prayer is that your intention is to learn to effortlessly time events with tarot. Timing is one of those things that is a great challenge when you're providing readings or you're searching for guidance. If I had $1 for every time I've asked guidance or another psychic when something was going to happen, I could have paid for all those psychic readings that I got way back when. When is something going to happen is one of the first questions most people ask me when they call for a reading. When is he going to call? When are we going to get engaged? When am I going to get married? When am I going to get a job? I'm constantly asked these questions, and luckily I have a lot of tools at my disposal to answer those questions. I cannot say that I always have an answer. I'm probably at about 75% when answering the questions accurately or even having an answer, which is par for the human course. We can only attain 80% perfection while we are in a body. I used to feel as if my life was all about waiting for a man, a call, work, getting paid, and the list goes on. Being able to time events allowed me to stop waiting. Once I could see that something was coming, that a tide would turn, I could live in the moment. Not that it's completely foolproof. Recently, my partner left the planet. I didn't see that coming, nor had I ever turned to tarot to ask when death may occur. I thought it would happen several years from now. I wasn't asking consistently when he was going to die, so when he did, it surprised me. When he got sick about 6 months earlier, I wasn't worried. In retrospect, tarot had been suggesting that something was up for quite a while, but I wasn't asking the question. I would go, "What are you talking about?" I just figured tarot was trying to get me to work on something I wasn't interested in, or use the common among psychics excuse, "I'm not good at reading for myself." It's not a valid excuse. We can often read for ourselves just as easily as we can read for other people. We don't always want to hear the answers, so we turn to someone else, hoping for a more acceptable or better answer. But before I digress further, let's get started. Astrology is probably the best timing tool, and numerology also gives us great insights into timing events. But tarot not only time events, it also gives us greater opportunities to take that next step up the spiral. Time is written into almost all tarot cards. Some cards tell us there are no available time frames. For example, the Fool gives no time frame but states that if something happens, it will happen spontaneously. Of course, the Fool may also be saying that he or she is not paying attention or will forget. If someone asks me when he will call and I pull the Fool, I would say there's no time frame because if he does, it will be spontaneously. But he isn't paying attention and he's likely to forget to call. Sometimes tarot will insist on driving a point home. For example, when asking when someone is going to call in the Court card, so wands come into play, there is a time frame, but tarot is pointing out that action will occur when the impulse arises. Tuition plays a role when timing an event. Allowing intuition to play a role is imperative if the cards address other issues instead of simply answering the questions. Tarot doesn't always answer a question. Tarot wants to remind us that choice is important. For example, let's say that we're asking when a certain relationship will finally culminate. Tarot may advise that the journey to that space is more important to our highest good, our evolvement, than when we will get there. So instead of telling us when, guidance will say, get some therapy or quit asking the question. And Tarot is like that. Another issue is that we must ask the right question to begin with. Sometimes the real question is he going to call? Another question, considering free will, is he likely to call? We'll discuss other questions in the final lesson. Asking questions correctly is one key to accurate readings. Finally, we will make sure that you understand the clues that are provided in Tarot to time important events in your life. See yourself navigating life with a cosmic compass that offers insights hidden in the folds of time itself. Tarot is like a mirror reflecting the past, revealing the present, and predicting the future. But without understanding, it feels like you're stumbling in the dark. That's where confusion kicks in, much like trying to read a book in a language you don't know. It's a reality we all have faced. Together, we're going to solve the mysteries, sparking a deeper connection with time and destiny. By the end of this class, you'll understand the basics of time insights and clues in Tarot and how they can enhance your life. Let's start solving the mysteries of Tarot and time. We'll start by exploring the heart and story of Tarot cards. We cannot fully understand something unless we grasp the underlying logic that shapes the system. Picture this. Centuries ago, in the mystical land of 15th century Europe, Tarot cards emerged. Their origin is not explicitly known. At first, they were elaborate playing cards, but over time they became more magical, powerful tools for insight and self-discovery. Think of this change as turning them into enchanted keys to a hidden realm where wisdom is waiting to whisper secrets. In 1909, a new deck came into the picture that changed everything. A.E. Waite, creator of the iconic Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, was a mystic and spiritual seeker who earned a living as a freelance translator and writer. In 1889, under the pseudonym Grand Orient, he published A Handbook of Cartomancy, Fortune-Telling, and Occult Divination, one of the earliest English guides to reading Tarot. Initially drawn to the occult, Waite joined the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, but his belief shifted toward Christian mysticism over time. After the Golden Dawn fractured, Waite formed the Fellowship of the Rosy Cross. In 1909, he collaborated with artist Pamela Colman Smith to create the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot and wrote the companion book, The Pictorial Key to Tarot. Pamela Colman Smith, born in London to American parents, spent part of her childhood in Jamaica. She studied art at the Pratt Institute in New York and later worked as a costume and set designer for an English theater company. In 1901, she established a studio in London, entertaining guests and friends with Jamaican folk tales and storytelling performances. Between 1890 and 1910, she collaborated with literary figures, illustrated various works, and explored automatic drawing during trance states. Waite chose Smith to illustrate his tarot deck due to her artistic talent, shared membership in the Golden Dawn, and her clairvoyant abilities. Despite her significant contributions, Smith was paid a flat fee and received no lasting financial benefit or credit, as the deck was initially named after its publisher. Recent efforts have aimed to rectify this oversight by renaming the deck the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Smith's distinctive illustration style is evident throughout the deck. She worked with Waite to blend Golden Dawn symbolism into the cards. This symbolism originated from teachings from diverse sources: Egyptian, Judeo-Christian, Rosicrucian, and Masonic, to name a few. Numerology and astrology played major roles in their designs. Understanding how Waite-Smith designed time into the deck helps us understand the clues and messages they chose. To do that, we must look at our relationship to it. Observing time and season changes can enhance spiritual growth in many ways. Seasons provide a tangible representation of the cyclical nature of life: birth, growth, decay, and renewal. This can mirror our own internal cycles of joy, sorrow, struggle, and rebirth. Witnessing the death of leaves in autumn and their reemergence in spring can be a powerful metaphor for letting go of old patterns and embracing change. Paying attention to the subtle shifts in daylight and temperature in the natural world encourages mindfulness. It helps us to be present in the current moment rather than dwelling on the past or anxiously anticipating the future. Observing the consistent rhythms of the seasons can foster a sense of connection to something larger than ourselves, the natural world, the universe, or a higher power. Seasons unfold at their own pace. We cannot force spring to arrive earlier or stop the onset of winter, but this can teach us patience, acceptance, and trust in the natural order. Appreciating the beauty and bounty of each season, the vibrant colors of autumn, the stillness of winter, the blossoming of spring, and the abundance of summer, can cultivate gratitude for the natural world and life itself. Gratitude for life is not always easy for light workers. Many know how much easier it is to experience existence as a spirit. Time does not exist on that plane of consciousness. Many lifetimes that we experienced were filled with suffering and pain, so getting into a body seems like a punishment. Our vision and power are not always appreciated, and we were tortured and killed. These past life experiences create blocks within us that must be cleared before we can own our power. So creating the life we seek is difficult. This does not lead to a love for life. Additionally, it's easier to change reality on the spiritual plane than on the physical plane. On the spiritual plane, we can see that the chosen goal is manifested. The physical plane is denser, so we experience the waiting game. Once again, we see how timing upcoming events and appreciating the natural order allows us to appreciate and incorporate peace into our lives. Waite-Smith, scholars deeply immersed in esoteric traditions like alchemy, Kabbalah, and astrology, understood the profound power of time and the power of symbols. They consciously incorporated this understanding into the design of the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, creating a deck that transcends mere divination and becomes a tool for personal and spiritual exploration. From Jungian psychology, we can see how Waite-Smith's use of symbols taps into the collective unconscious. Archetypical imagery such as the Fool's Journey, the Wheel of Fortune's cyclical nature, and the tower's sudden upheaval resonates with universal human experiences. These symbols, like the circle, the cross, and the tree of life, transcend cultural boundaries. They evoke subconscious responses and trigger profound insights. Waite and Coleman symbols, like the alchemical imagery embraced by esoteric traditions, are not merely decorative. They are laden with meaning, inviting deeper reflection. When we look at tarot cards, that happens. Deeper reflection and insights from our subconscious that we weren't aware of before looking at the card. The imagery of the hermit, for example, with his lantern illuminating the darkness, can symbolize introspection and guidance in the search for inner truth. The chariot, with its powerful horses and triumphant rider, can represent willpower, control, and the journey of self-mastery. Coleman and Waite, incorporating symbols with both universal and personal resonance, created a deck that invites individual interpretation. Specific colors might invoke a unique memory in a person, and in tarot become a symbol itself. The imagery in the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot can trigger personal associations and emotional responses. It can bring up things from our subconscious, like ancestral patterns and curses, past life memories, or early childhood experiences. Bringing these experiences from our subconscious helps us clear the wounds that cast shadows on our light. That's why Tarot is so special. It helps us clear things, remember things, see things, and heal things. Each card with its intricate design tells a unique story. Some reflect courage, like a knight off to battle, or a hermit sharing deep insights into the path to the heights of consciousness. Learning this language can change how you perceive time and decisions. Let's look at the Empress for a moment. Traditionally, the Empress card encourages you to embrace your inner feminine qualities. These can include grace, sensuality, creativity, nurturing, and the ability to create beauty in your life. This connection to your feminine energy is essential for achieving inner balance, regardless of gender. But there is so much more. Where do your eyes fall when you look at the card? Should your eyes fall on her crown, there are two things to remember. First, of course, she is bejeweled and pampered. Secondly, the crown has 12 six-pointed stars. These stars symbolize her dominion over all. Additionally, she holds a staff topped with a globe of dominion. In short, she rules. The roses on her dress and the red drape over a portion of her chair are symbols of passion. The other portion of the chair is orange, the color of the second chakra. There are 7 chakras, energy centers in the spiritual body, each associated with areas of life. The second chakra is associated with sexuality. This portion of the chair supports her back. We also see her foot in a red shoe, the color of passion, firmly on the bedrock. She is laid back and grounded in her approach to life and sexuality. The wheat field symbolizes Isis, the Egyptian goddess associated with motherhood. The garden's lushness suggests that she is a nurturing ruler and mother. The cypress trees symbolize immortality, spiritual elevation, and hope. Her shield bears the symbol of the goddess Venus. Venus is many things, desire being one of the most prominent, which makes her an interesting card when she is drawn for some questions. What does she want? I want. The next card fills in the blank. Will she or he contact me? Yes, she wants to. All 4 elements are represented in this card. There is a fall of water behind her. The movement of the cypress tree signifies air. The garden represents earth. And the red, denoting passion, represents fire. Like the magician, the Empress reminds us that embracing all 4 elements is the key to accomplishing our goals. To fully understand the Empress, it is necessary to note her position in the deck. She follows the High Priestess, a card where the veil is intact. The Empress, on the other hand, is unveiled. Following her is her husband, the Emperor, reminding us she is married. This card contains many clues. We'll discuss timing in the next lesson. However, I wanted to point out how much information a card can hold. You may have noticed that I used the Hermit several times in this lesson. I purposely did that because the Hermit resonates with the purpose of this lesson. We are here to develop deeper insights and a greater connection to guidance. I could have used the Fool to signify that we are starting an adventure, but you aren't starting an adventure now. You've already done that, or you wouldn't be here. You are not the Empress sitting in your garden, celebrating creativity, or her husband, the Emperor, sitting on his laurels. You have already started seeking deeper truths, and the Hermit acknowledges that. Let me applaud you for that. I hope that at the end of this lesson, we resonate as the World card, having graduated from this particular lesson in Tarot interpretations, ready to once again become the Fool and start a new adventure. So far, we have covered several important points. Timing upcoming events allows us to be in the moment. Our relationship to time is more than waiting for it to pass. Flowing with time, whether on a daily or yearly basis, allows us to connect to something greater than ourselves. Our connection to the natural world allows us to love life itself. Appreciating moments and seasonal changes leads us to patience and acceptance of change, two important qualities to develop to step up the spiral. The Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, designed by mystic scholars, incorporates much symbolism. This symbolism gives us timing information and catalyzes personal growth and healing. This is the end of our introduction to timing with Tarot. Imagine the freedom and clarity that comes from this new understanding of Tarot, yourself, and your place in time today and tomorrow. Seriously, imagine that. Imagine picking up a tarot card with the intent to know when something will happen. See how you are weaving these insights into your life, decision by decision, day by day. Feel how using these magical clues affects your everyday life. Breathe that reality in. Feel it in your toes and wiggle them with excitement. Give that reality to yourself by expressing gratitude for your newly gained knowledge. This journey with Tarot timing is yours to shape and enjoy. Engage with the coursework and use the lesson notes and worksheets to strengthen your understanding. Thank you for exploring this. You've done a fantastic job getting this far. It's been an honor sharing with you. Every insight you gain through this process is like a golden coin of wisdom, a new treasure to add to your chest of life experiences. Hold on to each one, letting it guide you, and keep moving forward with enthusiasm. But please remember to have fun and let curiosity lead the way. Before you go, I want to make sure that you totally get this. So please shrug your shoulders, roll your neck, and stretch a bit. Keeping this knowledge in your head and not allowing it to flow through your body keeps it in your head. Energy and knowledge flow through the mind, but when tempered through the heart, they become far more valuable. Whether you are reading for yourself or others, allowing the insights to flow from your heart is where the magic lays. Movement is how we get that energy to flow through us. So move. Although movement and breath add to your ability to really get something, there are a few brain hacks that can add to your ability to retain knowledge. Try one or all of them to embrace the superstar you are. Teach your cat or coffee mug the things you really want to remember. Use simple words. When your houseplants understand the fact or concept you want to remember, you are the certified expert. This is especially helpful when you are memorizing card or symbol meanings for both timing and guidance. Burn rosemary incense while watching the video. Research has shown that it aids recall by 15%. Change the environment by studying sections in different places. Start in your normal area and then move to a different room. Your brain creates the memories and associates them with locations, kind of like bookmarks. The more areas you enlist, the more retrievable cues are available. Your brain drops 70% of information every 24 hours. To offset this, review the information the next day. Break the video up when reviewing it. By learning in 15-minute blocks, your brain lets the information marinate. Because the brain works to conserve energy, learning feels like work. At the same time, the brain seeks closure. Stopping midstream leaves the brain obsessing over the subject and eager for more. Take naps, even 20-minute ones, before reviewing a section. Sleeping gears our brains up to retain information. Ask yourself a question about what you have learned and give the wrong answer. For example, ask yourself, is the Fool predictable? Say yes, and your brain will scramble. It will immediately correct you, providing the correct answer. Try using a few of these hacks simultaneously. Take a nap, review 15 minutes of the video, teach your houseplants what you have learned, and then move on to the next part in a different room. Thank you for joining me in this quest for knowledge. I'll see you in the next lesson. Many blessings.